Okay.
For my entry.
All right, anyone who's staying for the class, please grab a siddur and we'll begin.
Never got it last year.
I did, oh, really? Yeah, that was the first
Actually,
one.
Sam, it's late. It's late by a
But you
week.
got it.
Oh, it's late by a week.
Yeah, don't ask. Wasn't me. Definitely
That's
wasn't
what I
me.
understand. That's fine. Thank you.
That's what Trump keeps saying.
Yeah, well,
Let me clean this up a
in
little
this
bit.
case, I wasn't sure.
You're off.
Have a good day, everybody.
Have a good day.
I'll send you an email. At 10 o'clock, he's correctly.
We'll be out of here before then.
I'm sure you will.
What? No, 15 minutes.
Okay, everyone's done that.
Oh, it's a sink. Look at that.
Oy vey. Doesn't say how.
Did I tell you every time I got kicked out of the choir?
No.
Many times. No? Oh, yeah, I tried out for one choir once, years ago, I joined, I got kicked out. Because your voice was so good. Well, they told me I was tone deaf. That was their excuse.
Well, exactly what tone did they take with you?
What? They told me I was tone deaf, what did I tell you? That's what they told me.
Never what tone did they take?
Oh, I see.
3, 2, 1.
That's just so I can find the beginning.
Okay, so actually, the piece of the picture that we left out last, well, up to date, is the Torah Service. Go.
I was never good at that.
So the Torah Service is on page 65, and it's number 5 on the sheet. This includes the Chatzi Kaddish by Hibin Soharon, Gadlu, and the V'tigaleh, which is the calling up. And the important thing to remember is this is back to Magen Avot study mode, which is basically a basic form of minor. So again, that is 5, flat 3, 1, or 4, 3, 2, 1, 4. So we have, so for example, Vayhibin Soharon, Vayhibin Soharon, Vayomer Moshe, 5, 3, 4, flat 3, 1, 1, 3, 5. Right, that arpeggio there, it's a minor chord. And the thing to be aware of is that this shouldn't be done, I would, pause it to say, like a Shabbat Torah service. So we wouldn't go Vayahibin Soharon Vayomer Moshe, because that's in Hashem Malach mode, which is the major mode, which is reserved for the joy of Shabbat. Of course, weekdays are never joyous, so. So we go to the Magen Avot minor for this. Vayahibin Soharon Vayomer Moshe Kuma Adonai v'yafutzu oyevecha v'yanusu mesanecha mipanecha or mipanecha. There's our 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'm just talking a little bit about the words here and the meaning. So Vayahibin Soharon. This is the well, I always think of this and Uvnucho Yomar as bookends. Right, they're bookending the Torah service. So here we say when the ark was lifted up and carried, God may our enemies be scattered, and so on and so forth. And we would look forward to the Torah coming forth from Zion, from Jerusalem. And then in Uvnucho Yomar, it says when we put the Torah down. Uvnucho Yomar is on page 70. Second is on page 77. Whenever the ark was set down, Moses would say, God may dwell among the myriad families of the people of Israel. So these are bookends. And there's a great word in here. I love this. I don't know if I mentioned this to you the last time we met. But it says, Kuma Adonai v'yafutzu oyevecha. V'yafutzu, scatter. I love that word, scatter, v'yafutzu. It sounds like blow them all the way. And then even better than that is the next word, oyevecha. An oyev is an enemy, right? And if you look at the word, it says oyevecha means all. Echa means your, right? And oyev is the enemy. To put it together, it's oyevecha, and it's made up of the word oive. So all your oives should be scattered. So I like to think of this as not just your enemies, but anything that gets in the way of your life, things that are, all the yuck, all the gunk in our lives. We can expand this prayer to include the scattering of those things as well. I think that's particularly beautiful. V'yanusu mesanecha mipanecha. Tricky words to say if you're sort of to the uninitiated, perhaps. A lot of my B'nai Mitzvah kids have this tendency, even though they have my recordings and my, our practice together, it always comes out, V'yanusu misanecha mipanecha. They're learning for Shabbat, right?
That I just realized that's a mistake I do all the time.
Right, so some of us do, right? So it's V'yanusu misanecha mipanecha, right? Misane, and then mipanecha, from before you. Or, I guess from before you,
What's the mistake you make?
some people say misanecha mipanecha. It's misanecha.
Yeah.
Listen,
You
Misanecha,
said- some
mipanecha.
people say misanecha.
Yeah.
this is wrong.
So the whole paragraph. Vayehi b'nsoa ha'aron vayomer Moshe kuma Adonai ve'afutzu oyevecha ve'yanusu mesanecha mipanecha ki mitzion teitzei Torah udvar Adonai mirushalayim. Mirushalayim, not mi Yerushalayim. Mirushalayim. Baruch shenatan Torah le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Avoid, as always, Yisrael b'kedushato. I think that's Shabbat
It's the
morning.
same thing. Most people say Moshiach.
That's Mashiach.
That's
The
different.
Mashiach, yeah, but it's
That's different. That's Ashkenaz versus
a
Israeli
mistake, though,
pronunciation.
isn't it?
No, it's just the way that the kamatz is pronounced. It's the same difference as Adon Olom or Adon Olam. Adon Olom or Olam. It's just the part of the world you come from, or your ancestors come from, the regional.
Some sheet music, and the title is Hovonagilo.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what the source was.
Right, exactly. And then if the v's are spelled with W's, you know it came out of Germany too.
Yeah.
Right, because like you see that stuff all over. There's a lot of Jewish music came out of Germany, of course. Yes, Hovonagilo, exactly, perfect example. So that's not the same thing. Here it's a grammatical, what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of like a ligature, right? It's a verbal ligature, as it were. So you know how in the word like efficient, E-F-F-I, the F and the I won't have a dot because the F sort of expands over the top of the I. That's a font ligature. Here we have the contraction of me, from, and Yerushalayim, Jerusalem. You combine it into one, Mirushalayim. There's other examples of that throughout the text. Ladonai, for example, or Badonai or Hadonai. There's a whole bunch of them. Mirushalayim. And you can tell that it's not anything different because the yud doesn't have its own vowel. So it's not me yud, it's me. The yud simply ends the E sound of the mem.
Well, there would be two units, wouldn't there be?
Yes, or a dot in the yud, but there would have to be a dot under the yud as the E vowel.
Okay, yeah.
So for example of that is like Chaim, B'Sefer Chaim. So two yuds. The first yud has the effect of closing off the Chai, and the second one has the effect of being the Y of Yid, right? But there's other examples of words with yuds in them where there aren't two yuds, but you still have that effect of the I, Y.
Okay.
And with only one yud, the way you accomplish that is by putting a dagesh in the yud. You'll see that from time to time. It doesn't really change anything other than that it's a solid, it's a solid yud sound. Okay, stay with the Maginavot mode for Gadolu, and a little bit of choreography here. You've got the Torah in your hand at this point. You're cradling it carefully like a baby. For the word the three words Gadolu, Ladonai, Et, you bow ever so slightly forward towards the ark, and then you stand upright for Uneromema. So, Gadolu Ladonai Et, Uneromema Shemo Yachtav. And actually argue that it should be Unromema, not Uneromema, because the Shva is on the inside of the word, and there's no dot inside that nun. So unromema shemo yachtav. Gadelu ladonai iti unromema shemo yachtav. Same thing.
Question.
Yeah.
On the choreography,
Yeah.
I thought that it was Gadlu Adonai stand straight.
Yeah.
Usually.
You're right. So this is probably one of the most common exceptions to that rule. That's a standard. But you're right. You should be upright for Adonai.
Okay.
I mean, I would actually much prefer to go with that
That's what I've been doing.
than to have this be an
Throw me off the
exception.
bimini.
Gadelu Adonai iti unromema. Good. Point taken.
Sorry.
No, that's great. Thank you. Bottom page 65. Stay in the same mode. Lecha Adonai hagdula vehagevura. See gevura because there's a dagesh in the gimel. So lecha Adonai hagedula vehagevura. See that? Lecha Adonai hagedula vehagevura vehatif eret vehanetzach vehahod kichol bashamayim uvaaretz. Lecha Adonai hamamlacha vehamitnaseh lechol lerosh. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lahadom raglav kadoshu. So you're sort of just fitting in words there, right? Romamu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lahakodsho ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. So staying in that mode, 1 3 1 3 5 3 1 minor. Very good. Good. So that's on the weekday very short Torah service, processional, and on the top of page 66, that's one of those paragraphs that's sort of said under the breath of the person who's leading. You'll often hear me finish that out loud though. Stay in the same mode. And then the person calling up the olim or olot would announce on page 66, again, stay in the same mode. Peleitatenu, because it's the first syllable of word, the shva's under, so peleitatenu. Ufleitat omo beit Yisrael, lechen uchesed lerachamim uratzon, v'nomar amen. Hakol havu godei le'Eloheinu utnu kavod laTorah. And then you have different choices, right? So we have, if you're calling up a Kohen, which not everyone does, and sometimes we don't, if we don't have a Kohen. So we would call up Kohen Kirav Ya'amod, and then Ploni Ben Almoni, whatever the person's name is. And if it's a woman, Bat Kohen, the daughter of a Kohen, Bat Kohen Kirvi Ta'amod. Or just if it's not a Kohen, if you're calling up a Levi instead of a Kohen, you would say Ya'amod, whatever the name is, Halevi bimkom Kohen, in the place of the Kohen, and then continue Baruch Shanatan, and so forth. And if you're calling up, if you don't have Kohen or Levi, you simply call Ya'amod and then whatever, Rishon or Sheni or whatever it is. If you're calling up a Levi and you know you have a Kohen in the house, even
Kohen has to leave.
What's that?
Kohen has to leave.
Technically, yes,
Or good, just step out of the room. Right?
that is the preferred way to handle that.
Yeah.
However, it's usually still known that you're taking away that aliyah from them, technically speaking, and so it's appropriate in the call-up to recognize that with some kavod. So you would say, for example, Ya'amod Chazan Yaakov Tzvi ben Yosef Halevi bimchilat Kohen bimchilat Mochel, which means, you guys remember Mochel from the high holiday services, Yom Kippur, particularly Slichot. Mochel avonot amo, forgive our sins. So bimchilat, I'm looking for forgiveness from the Kohen.
Okay.
So it's with the forgiveness of the Kohen.
With
With the blessing of the Kohen, but the forgiveness is literally the essence of the word. Yeah.
When you say Bat Kohen, is that not taking away a bit from the equality business? Everything's supposed to be equal. If she's the Bat Kohen, like,
Yeah.
you
So-
call her Kohen or
So all
what?
of the Kohen is a Ben Kohen. He's a Kohen,
Right.
but the Bat Kohen.
Right.
I
That,
yeah.
I mean, it's a valid
I just
point.
don't know whether,
It's-
I think of all these crazy things.
So
I
now
can't
we're
help it.
getting, now we're getting to political Judaism.
So, right, it is political Judaism. So I'll tell you what the source of that is. You know the source of it already. Is that it's a historical thing where the woman would never have been called up for an aliyah in the first place.
Right, I agree.
And it's in the merit of the lineage that they became a Kohen from their father. Because that is the way we do it.
Why
Right?
is-
We pass it on through the
By
father.
the same thing, why do we say page 36B now?
Because
So
that's
that
Why
people,
is it
so that people could know
It's
that,
optional.
because
At the moment, it's
if we
optional.
know that it, yeah.
Stay tuned for the further.
That's right.
At the moment, it's optional, that's why, that's why. Okay, so there's a big difference between a question about how things are done, like the tradition, and how we do them at KBI,
Right.
right? Because, for example, in the Reform movement, when they call people to Torah, there are, Kohen Levi, tribe status does not matter at all,
Right.
in most
And that's gonna
cases.
happen here within 10 years, probably.
I think it's further off than that. I think it's further off than that. I mean, it's baby steps, right? It's always a journey.
Yeah.
And I think these are really baby steps to be called, because I don't think any of the, I'm not aware of any women who have been called up since I've been here, in the short little time that I've been here, who said, could you please not call me up Bat Kohen, because I
No,
don't
but
want to
there's
be
lots of them that
differentiated
won't,
that way.
there's lots that won't go up, period. When you
Because.
won't approach them, the way they were brought up, a woman doesn't
Ah,
accept an aliyah.
So that's because of the traditional upbringing, right? That's a comfort level. That's a personal choice.
Well, there's quite a few, because I used to go around trying to
No, I'm not
send
surprised.
people up for aliyahs, and I was refused on many, many occasions.
Right. I'm not surprised.
That's okay, everybody.
Well,
There's
It's
room
okay,
there's room for growth. There's encouragement
Well,
that we
they've gotta
have
be,
here.
they've gotta be, you know,
And there's a
brought into
complaint
the,
that
brought
we
into
say
the
we're
tent.
egalitarian and we're not having the women participate.
Right. No, we're getting there. We're getting there.
I-
I think
I-
if you look
I've
back,
heard a lot of complaints
if you look back
about
10
that.
years, I'm sure you would see that we were doing a lot better than that point with egalitarianism. But the point is taken. So Bakira, so it's just a historical acknowledgement, as I see it, of the lineage that we still observe in our traditional synagogue and other.
It's okay with me, I just,
Yeah, it's a
it's technicality.
yeah, it is. There are certain congregations who will call up multiple people for certain aliyot, like a husband and wife, or two husbands or two wives, whatever. There are halachot about that, where, if I understand correctly, the first and the last aliyah, so the opening of the Kohen or Rishon aliyah, and the closing of the Shvi'i aliyah shouldn't be doubled up, but the rest could be. And I think that's to, again, a more traditional conservation
It's
of
just a
the.
new thing that's happening maybe in the States, even here.
With double-
We don't
double
do
aliyah.
that.
Right,
We
right.
haven't done many, I think it was the odd time, but I can't remember.
Occasionally.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect so. This is a very traditional synagogue, so yeah, you wouldn't
So
find
just
that.
a minute,
So-
if I had an aliyah, my wife was with me, could I ask for both two of us to go together?
I mean, here you'd have to ask the rabbi,
You have to ask the
or
rabbi.
we'd have to have a precedent for that, or the
You have to-
ritual.
They'd probably have to take it to the ritual committee and
Yeah.
decide whether they want to do
That's right,
that.
so wait for the next meeting, stay
Yeah.
tuned.
There are
The next meeting is
after the high holidays. After the
And
high
the
holidays.
ritual committee is 2021.
So, and anyway, in terms of the grammar of calling up multiple people, you would say do
Yeah,
whatever,
right,
for either two males or a male and a female.
Yes, frickin', sorry. Norm.
And for women, you would say ta'amodna, the plural for two women.
Oh,
There you go. Okay.
that all out for me.
And so that's how you would do that. And staying in the minor mode. Baruch shenatan Torah le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato ve'atem hadveikim b'Adonai Elohechem chayim kulchem hayom. Here's a great example of that chayim. There's two yuds and one of them has a dot in it. So that's like three yuds. Because the dot doubles the yud. So you have chai, and then some extra emphasis for yim. Actually, it's not. It's chai yim. Double emphasis on the first yud. Okay, moving on. Moving on.
Question, you want to get back to
Not at all.
if it's two males.
Yeah.
The same rules apply, you can't call up, they're like husband and wife.
Mhm.
They're not two male, you know, like.
So it's the
their
same
stat-
thing with two women.
I know, but the status changes, that's what I'm trying to say, the one male is the male and one is the female.
No.
But
Can't do
why-
that. Can't
That's
do
why I
that.
say, you know, so.
Politically incorrect.
No, but I'm just, like, I don't know what, you know, somebody.
It's just two people. It's two people, like anything else we do. Two people are two people. Two people are sometimes beautifully one person, but that doesn't affect the way you call it. It's ta'amo. Excuse me, it's ya'amdu, plural masculine form. Yeah.
Well, I'm not talking about coming up together.
Mhm.
I'm talking about, if there's two males that are married,
Yep.
one is a Kohen.
Ah.
Now, can you call up
No.
Kohen first and then the lady?
Okay,
and
so
then the lady?
now I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So if they're two different tribes, you can't call them up for the same aliyah.
You can't call them up together for the same.
I'm
For the
not-
same aliyah, they're two different tribes.
I don't want them to call up together. I'm saying, if there's two males,
Yes.
one of them's a Kohen.
Yes.
The other one isn't,
Yeah.
okay?
Doesn't become a Kohen by marrying a Kohen.
No, but you're missing the point. I'm not talking about coming up together.
Actually,
I'm talking about
I'm not sure the conservative movement would agree with that.
the
but I'm not sure.
Kohen and Levi.
Yeah.
Can one be a Kohen and one be a Levi?
Of course. Yes, you can have spouses following each other on the
can't have
allele list.
You can't have brothers.
You can't have parent. No, you can't have parent and children
Right.
following one another, or
Right.
children and parents.
Can you
That's
have
it.
brothers? I thought it was
Yes, you
brothers
can.
also.
You can have brothers.
Following each other?
Yeah. Yeah.
Parent and child, I mean, but I.
It's not the preference. You know, there's like a hierarchy, right?
Yeah,
for
they
common law.
I was told not to call two brothers in a row.
That's the way I grew up.
It isn't as,
No, but.
maybe the rabbis out there
The
can
point I was
correct me,
trying to
but.
make, it's not coming up on the same aliyah. Because they're husband and wife,
Yeah.
and one have the
Husband and
Kohen
husband, yeah.
and one be the Levi.
Yeah,
Now,
yes.
say the guy is a Levi,
Yeah.
just happens to be, one of them is a Kohen and one is a Levi.
Right. You have to call them up two separately, yeah.
But when
Anyway.
they get married, it's just,
There's
it's
still a
closer
Kohen and
than
Levi.
brother and sister.
Yeah, but there's still a Kohen and Levi.
Yeah.
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 All these are intricacies probably best left to the rabbi and the ritual committee. I'm not an expert in these sorts of
We
things.
don't have a ritual committee here.
Yes, we
Sure we do. Okay, all right. Okay. Moving on.
Let's not go there.
Okay. So again, there's other portions of the. Man, this is going to be an X-rated, thing. I'm going to have to. Okay, have a good day. I'm gonna have to make sure I'm gonna censor. Not at all. I won't do that. Okay, so page 69. We make a mishabera for those who are ill. Stay in the same key. Mishabera avotenu, Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, Hu Yivarech, Yirope, Et HaCholim. So we're in the minor mode. Just keep going. Rufa shlema min shamayim, rufat nefesh, rufut aguf, betoch shar cholei Yisrael. ויחזק את ידיהם העוסקים בצורכיהם, השדה בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ונאמר amen. Right? We have, okay. So, Chatzi Kaddish after the Torah reading is on page 71. So, again, staying in the minor mode without switching back into our Yikadal Bikadash Shemei Rabbah. We don't want that, right? That's Shabbat. Yeah. So Yikadal Bikadash Shemei Rabbah. We can use the what I call the Baruch Hu trope, right? Baruch Hu Nusach, rather. As long as we don't end up back in Yada da da da. Yikadal Bikadash Shemei Rabbah. Be'alma Divrach Yirutev Yamnich Malchutei B'chayet Chonu B'yomechon Uvchayei Lecho Beit Yisrael Ba'agalau B'zman Kariv Emru Amen. Yehi Shemei Rabbah B'barach Be'alamu Lameh Al Raya.
I know you're gonna be mad at me, but I don't, if you're praying to God.
Yeah.
And you don't sing it in the exact right key, is God gonna be mad at you?
No.
If you don't pray at all, it's worse to me than saying it in the
You're
wrong
absolutely
key.
right.
So I don't disagree with you, but we're here to learn the traditions, not to learn whether it's right or wrong, not to, whether it's the most important thing to pray at all. I think, we all agree where it's important to pray, more important to pray. There's no question, I'm sure everyone out there would agree with that. But there is a tradition, and so we're here to explore that and to become familiar with it and aware of it. So that's why we're here. 72 Yehi Ratzon. So the 72 you only do when on days where you don't say where you do say tachanu. Excuse me, where you do say tachanu. So any normal days. Why is that? This is more of a supplicative. Anytime you have Yehi Ratzon, it means may it be your will, right? Yehi Ratzon, may it be your will. And all these paragraphs are looking for turning around of negativity. So, for example, rebuilding our sacred home, ward off desolation and pestilence. Okay, the third paragraph is a little bit less dark than that.
Is Yehi Ratzon, like on the bottom of page 72?
Yep.
Is that correct? It said, after the Torah Service concluded, it's customary to offer blessing for well-being individuals who have not received an aliyah. Does Yehi Ratzon pertain to that?
No.
So, after the Torah reading had been concluded, it was customary to offer blessings for well-being of different individuals. I think that's just a historical note that at this point there might have been a blessing for.
Okay, I just wondered
All
whether
those.
the Yehi Ratzon related
This particular prayer.
to that.
I mean, I guess. I mean, this seems to be, yeah. It seems to be that, particularly the last paragraph, Achenu Kol Beit Yisrael, extends over the gamut of Jews in all situations. So not just those we've blessed on the morning with a Misha Berach for Olim. So this would cover, may the Holy One be merciful to our fellow Jews who wander over the sea and the land, who suffer oppression and imprisonment. May God soon bring them relief from distress, deliver them from darkness to light. I mean, I guess you could say all of these will cover the range of Jews. I think that's what it's referring to. It's a historical point. Remember, it says after the Torah reading had been concluded,
Right.
it was customary to offer blessings. So it may not have been this blessing.
Right.
Yeah. Good question. Emalei Rachamim. Now we're deviating from the standard. This is a detour. And El Malei Rachamim is done in a more plaintive mode. It's kind of a combination between Slicha mode and a Fregish mode. So you have this pleading quality of Yam Bam Bam Baba Yada Yada Da El Malei Rachamim Shochein Bamromim Hametzei Menucha Nechona and this is one moment which is very, very typical of Slicha mode, where we modulate up a fourth. And now we've pivoted back. So we went up and here for a little bit, yada da 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 da, and now we pivot back, yada da da da. This is Nusach 201, I think. This moving between modes and modulations. This is a little bit higher level, but that's good. And Lenishmat. So here we are back up a fourth, and we name the names Ploni Ben Almoni or Ploni Batal. Plonit bat almonit, shalach leoramo, began Eden tehei menuchato. Notice what I do there? Began Eden, in the Garden of Eden. Let's sing that a little bit more paradisically. Which? Paradisically. You sing it like you're in paradise. Not dizzily. No, so I'm singing Shehalach leoramo, may they go to their everlasting world in Garden of Eden. May they.
Another thing that
Like a paradise.
May they have rest.
that I disagree with.
Yeah.
to me.
We shouldn't go to
this
paradise?
prayer- No, I thought this prayer is supposed to be, it's a sad prayer, like, it's a sad, and you're going up and down and making all kinds of musical things. To me, that I don't know whether that's correct or not, and I've heard many over the years, many cantors, and I don't think that they're as strict with that as you wanna be, let's put it that way.
I mean, I do an arrangement, you know, a recitative setting of it, that's been passed down through generations to me. There are any number of ways you can interpret things. I personally don't believe that sad means less notes. I don't think that's it. I think if you're trying to evoke an emotional response, there's different words in here that have different emotional qualities. El Malei Rachamim, I'm talking about compassionate God. El Malei Rachamim. So like there's this compassion, Rachmanis, that's the same root there, that word there, and holy and pure. Kedoshim u'tohorim, not tehorim. That's not pure to me. So I won't use a lot of notes on that word. That's called a melisma, by the way. We have multiple notes on a syllable. Anna, please. Anna, balachamim. Right? But you have the idea of the soul ascending, and then part of the purpose of praying in the merit of somebody's memory is to elevate the soul, right? And so I think there should be some so there's a going up to Garden of Eden. Menuchato is rest, his rest or her rest, right? So that should be sort of a settling down, and you need notes to be able to do that. There's no question, I've heard it done like this before.
I've heard that.
So there's layers and layers. So for example, on Tisha B'Av, where we have an entire different layer of sadness that comes with the reading of an El Maleh, because you might have the occasion to do an El Maleh on Tisha B'Av. Let's say there was dominion for our Tisha B'Av service. You know, hopefully that doesn't happen. Then you might say an El Maleh instead of a Kaddish, right, to acknowledging somebody. Then you need to use what's the word I'm looking for?
We don't know
To
what
condense,
you're looking for.
to condense the number of notes so that you can add on top of the layer of emotion that the El Maleh naturally brings to the theme of the day, which is not using a lot of notes. So you use that as a tool for a second level of acknowledging history, tradition, and so forth. It is intricate. That's why I'm saying this is kind of Nusach 201 stuff, but it's good questions and it's valid. None of what you're saying is like when you have those moments where you disagree with or wonder whether this is the only way. You're right, it's not the only way. Nusach is never fixed. I always like to say it's like jazz. It should always be improvised, but taking into account different factors. So
You prefer,
No, I just.
He's just-
over
he's
the
seen-
years,
he's
what I've
seen different
heard,
things.
Not
Make an
not
observation.
everybody does it differently.
Yes.
Yeah. No question, and that's why Nusach, I think that's one of the reasons Nusach has survived as long as it has, is that it has local variation, and it has regional variation, and it also has similarities, so you can go from place to place and still find something of the essence of the ancient traditions, no matter what, I'll say Ashkenazi synagogue for our purposes. So we
Well,
walk
it's the
into.
same thing, if you go for the Shemona Esrei, no matter where you go, you'll know what they're saying,
Yeah,
you know,
it's amazing.
whether
It's amazing.
whether it's done in the same tune or not the same tune, but you'll know that it's a Shemona Esrei.
Yeah, that's right. Good, so the conclusion of the Torah service, so the recessional on page 76. You might be tempted to go, Yahallelu et Shem Adonai ki niskav shemo levado, but that's major, Hashem malach mode, and that is again for Shabbat. happier day, joyous occasion kind of thing than just a weekday. So we stay in the minor of Magen Avot.
What if you're a happy person every day of the week?
Then smile while you sing Magen Avot. Yehallelu et Shem Adonai ki niskab shemo levado. Hodo al eretz v'shamayim. Hodo, not hodu al eretz.
Yeah.
Common mistake. Common mistake.
Most of the people say, oh, do.
Yeah, common mistake. Hodo al eretz v'shamayim vayarem keren ne'amo te'ilalecho chasidav livnei Yisrael am kerovo Hallelujah leDavid mizmor. Now, in our show, we can chant that, quietly. We just pick up at the end. Mihu ze melech hakavod, Adonai tzvaot hu melech hakavod, Selah. Keep it simple, keep it
But
minor.
in years gone by, we always used to start at Su'u.
Right. Se'u she'arim rashechem, us'u pitchei olam, ve'avo melech hakavod, mihu ze hakavod. Yep. Adonai tzvaot hu melech hakavod, Selah. Yeah. You can start anywhere, right? You can start right at the beginning. L'Adonai ha'aretz umlo'ah, tevel ve'yosheveva, ki hu ha'yamin yesada, ve'al neharot yichon nehar, yaleh v'har Adonai. What's that?
Our breakfast would be late if we do that.
Exactly. Exactly. There's also melodies for that. Anytime you use a melody, you have to be careful you're choosing appropriately, of course, but there's melodies that are out there in the world by different composers. There's where I was previously, we had in London, England, there's melodies that would come out of the British Blue Book, which is this out-of-print compendium of, it's kind of the Jewish hymnal, the standards of Jewish choral and congregational music. So, but then again, it's major, so it's not the most appropriate, but anytime you go into another.
Sounded good to me.
It's nice, but it takes a long time. We have too short an aisle for the whole piece. I've done half of it at times. Uvnucho yomar shuva Adonai rivavot alfei Yisrael uma Adonai limnuchatecha ata va'aron uzecha. Right? You don't have to say the whole thing. You could just top and tail. Uvnucho yomar. Right? And then pick up at, if you're just chanting this quickly on a weekday, best bet is to just pick up at Hashivenu. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Kadesh Yameinu kekedem or kekedem, right? That 5-3-1 or 4-3-2-1 or even 5-4-3-2-1. It's all there for us. That's our Nusach class for today. Thank you. All right, have a good day, everyone. We're off now until further notice after the holidays. And for those who are interested, we'll put that out there, that information out there. We'll do a Nusach 201 class with complete with a schedule for actually leading services after some learning. Thank you very much.
You don't want us to be too good, Cantor.
Oh, yes, I do.
Because if we get too good, we can replace you.
Don't worry.
Halavai.
That's not gonna happen.